The other thing that concerns me with Iran is, and it's also a political discussion, no one really cares about Zuma when we had a commodity bull market. He was annoying, but he was in the background. I think when commodity prices start falling and you see a country come under pressure, suddenly what government's doing matters. So that's the sort of commodity backdrop. And in that respect, I worry about the Chinese economy from a growth rate perspective. Not that I don't think China will grow, it will grow, but just want to show a graph, Kieran, if you can do that for me quickly. The one on manufacturing versus services. I think a lot of people aren't aware of the fact that China will continue to grow, but it's the type of growth that's not very bullish for South Africa. And if you look on the left-hand side, it shows services as a share of GDP, and it's been consistently growing. And when you look on the right-hand side, you see manufacturing, also the mining-type sector, going on to the right, falling. And this is something that we think will play out for the next couple of years. This is not just noise, this is a long-term story. China wants to grow their economy more on the services side of things. That's not great if you're a commodity-producing country like South Africa. So suddenly we need to grow domestically in a lot of different ways, not just the mining sector. Now, of course, the mining sector can make you money. I mean, I had a lot of people in Joburg say to me, I run a mine, even if commodity prices are falling, can't I make money? And I said, of course you can, if your margins are okay. But we've got a problem with labour. It comes back to this labour issue again. The labour unions have far too much power. You know, if the mine's struggling, you shouldn't be getting massive salary increases. They're not encouraging mines in this country to do the right thing. And you talk about a lot of ways, the sort of black empowerment angle on mines today. If you have to have 51%, or whatever the number is, of black economic ownership. But should that economic ownership sell their stake, you then have to replace them with somebody else. You're making it, well, black people again, you're making it very difficult for companies to run their businesses. So I think what South Africans should be looking at, and our government particularly, grow the tourism sector. Yes, I agree, mining is very important. If you're in Joburg, mining is massively important. But Cape Town, we sit in some of the best assets in the world on our doorstep. We have got some of those beautiful tourist assets globally that I have ever seen. Why aren't we growing tourism? Why aren't we creating jobs that way? Some stat I read recently said, for every one tourist that arrives in your country, it creates 9 jobs. Yeah. We know from Justice we have a massive unemployment problem. Start creating tourism. And then obviously what people will say, oh, but there's crime. Well, instead of hiring a lot of pencil pushers at government, hire more policemen. Make it a safer place for people to come visit. This country is so incredible. There's so many things we can do. We just keep doing the old policies that used to work for us. And it's back to this problem again of lack of leadership. I saw a fantastic picture on Facebook this weekend after Brexit. There was a picture of Zuma in a chair, and obviously it wasn't his comment, and he's laughing his head off, going, what? He resigned for that? And you know, I think David Cameron stands up in Parliament, says, I've resigned, I'm going to let the next guy take over, I lost the battle. And I don't know if anyone saw on Sky TV yesterday, or ITV, he's saying to Corbyn, man up, man, it's time to leave, they don't want you anymore, go. Well, that's the difference. That's a society where the rule of law is obeyed, where people say, the population have told you something, it's enough. And yet we have a government today that surrounds themselves with nepotistic people who don't want him to go because they're only there because of Zuma. This NEC is a massive problem. You've got people there who probably couldn't, and I quote your book again, probably couldn't get a job in private enterprise, and yet they work for government. I mean, we have more people today in government than the US does. It's utterly ridiculous. Yeah. Something has to change.
Yeah.